Hey everyone, welcome to the voboss podcast and the Boss Superpower series. I'm here with my lovely co-host, Lola Pires. Hi, Lola Pires. How are you?
Annie, I'm great. How are you?
I am wonderful. Wonderful. So, Law, this week, it's funny how many times when I ask my student, I usually ask my students for their headshots so that I can help promote their demos that we've just finished and I produced, and I like to put them in my YouTube channel, and I like to put a headshot with the demo and a testimonial. And it amazes me how many voice actors don't really have a good headshot, or don't have one. They're like, well, I'm waiting to get my headshots, or I haven't thought about getting headshots yet, or can I just give you this picture? And it's funny because I think headshots are so important for our careers. And so maybe we should talk about what goes into a good, why do we need headshots, and what goes into a good headshot.
I love that, Annie. It's such a long time coming, too, because I hear so many clients, and some of my talent, actually most of my talent now, are really on the headshot wagon for their websites, for their whatever they're doing. A lot of them are actors on IMDb, on Actors Access, on casting networks, you name it. They're kind of all over the moon. And so one of the things we talk about all the time is you have to have great headshots, not only for your marketing, your PR, for your business, but also, it's important if you're ever going to do on-camera work. And some of them do really want to do on-camera work authentically. They're excited about doing industrials or training videos or whatever. And so we have to have industry standard professional demos. I think one of the biggest problems we see, Annie, is people going to their mother's brother's first cousin to shoot their headshots, and it's always bad when they do that, because they're doing that to save money, and we have to be careful of that.
No, I agree. I think that, there's a lot to be said for a really good, shot on your iPhone, because the cameras are getting better and better. However, there's a lot to be said for going to get a professional headshot, and I am a big believer in that. And anybody who just goes to my website or has ever gone to my website knows how much I utilize my headshots in my website for like every other page, and it really helps in my marketing, in my branding.
And we get so tired, Annie. God bless you. I know you and I, who use our shots all the time, I get so tired of the same shots.
Yeah, me too.
I myself did 3 headshot shoots this year or last year alone. I did 3. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's like I'm an A-lister. No, I'm just a business owner. I'm a business owner that wants to have different feels, looks, appeals
that work for different things. That work for different instances. And I'll tell you what, I do too. So my last headshot, right? When we talk about what goes, it may be prepping for your headshot, but what goes into it, because I've been doing this for so long, and I have the same headshot photographer that I've had for probably 10 years. And she knows me very well, and I know her very well. And this last time when I went, I literally brought at least 10 different changes of clothes. Good. And that is kind of excessive, but I knew what I wanted, right? I knew the different types of shots that I wanted, and it took me weeks to curate my my outfits, but it really worked for me, right? It really worked for me, and I got a variety of different shots, and literally we shot probably the entire day, which, it was not necessarily a cheap thing, but I have gotten so much use and so much footage out of these headshots that it's been really incredible. I mean, honestly, and she even did video, and the video helped too, because I've got video that's on my website as well. So and good. Me in action, me behind the mic, me, doing different things, and so in different positions. So let's talk about, first of all, tell me why you think it's necessary these days to have a good headshot.
100% airtight, you need a headshot. I would even say that if you're not a performer. I would say that if you are, working in banking, if you're a real estate person, if you're an attorney, you need excellent, even for your LinkedIn. Like that's become a big thing, shots for your LinkedIn. But still, the shots are not great that you're seeing in corporate America. They just really are not great. So I would suggest that you look up, you Google, or you go to your coaching team and say, I need excellent photographers in my area within this radius that are actor headshot photographers, not business photographers, not wedding photographers, not child photographers, but they understand the sensibility of a professional headshot. And I need to have that because I'm going to be putting out my photo everywhere, whether I'm doing it in my own advertising, whether I'm working a project and they want me to send them shots for that project. I mean, there's so many social media, put your great shots on social media.
Absolutely.
So many reasons why you have to have it now, right? So that's one of the biggest mistakes I see happen just to save a few bucks is to go to someone who's inexpensive or go to a family member or try to do it yourself. I think it's very difficult because there's a certain sense that a headshot photographer has about lighting you, about your makeup,
lighting
about
is
knowing
everything.
what translates
Can I
on
say that?
camera. Yeah, I mean, it's really everything. And it's the sensibility of making you look like you, not a glamorized version of you, but you on an awesome day.
Remember? So I'm gonna think. Well, back in the day, like the Sears or J.C. Penney shots. You would just go and they all had the same background. If you have a professional, I mean, but they were all very much like a similar style, right? And so I think what we need to do as creatives and entrepreneurs is we need, and no matter who you are, actually, I think the more you can showcase your personality through your headshots, the better and more effective they will be. And so for me, when I was picking out my outfits, I was trying to figure out, okay, what is it? Who am I? What aspects of my personality do I want to showcase? And where am I going to use these headshots? And so I knew that I would use a lot of them for my website. I knew that I was going to use a lot of them for social media advertisements about what I do. So, of course, I needed props, right? And props were, I brought every single pair of glasses, by the way. And on my In Ganguza coaching page, you'll see a video shot of me with about 12 different pairs of glasses because it's just part of my personality, right?
I love it.
And, also I'm hoping that, I'm hoping that some eyewear company will say, oh, Anne, please be a brand ambassador for us because I love glasses. But I did. I brought like 10 different pairs of glasses. It was something I literally had to plan when I was going for my shot. And I had to make sure that she knew that I had at least 8 different looks that I wanted to shoot. And that usually they charge based upon how many looks. And then they charge on how many digital, because she gave me all digital shots. And because I've known her forever, I'm like, just give me all the shots. Right. And then I'll pay you to edit the ones that I think I'll use ultimately. And that is a time consuming process, but it was definitely well worth my time. And I paid for makeup and hair on the day. And I wanted to make sure I had 3 different hairstyles as well. So that is like, okay, when am I going to take the straight hair shot? And then we have to have time to curl my hair. And when am I going to take the curled hair headshot? And then what am I going to do? Am I going to keep it all in front of me? Am I going to maybe put half of it back? So there's all sorts of different looks that I was curating for those headshots.
Absolutely. And I think those are all important points. And you're a pro and you've been doing this for years and years and years. And so you're at a point where you're doing really a pro shot. You're doing a pro shoot that's really also full body shots. And that's something
I did full body shots as well.
I think there's a couple steps that I think the early entry person needs to follow so they don't get overwhelmed. And the first one is finding a photographer and finding someone within a geographical distance that you're willing to travel and finding someone within your budget. So you have to understand what your budget is and what the market rate will bear. And put those people by your coaches so that they can okay it for you so that you're not going to a charlatan or someone who really doesn't have a gallery of actual headshots, but really more of a wedding photographer. You have to be careful of that, right? So it's really selecting the right photographer for you and also knowing, am I doing headshots only? Or am I doing full body shots as well? And that's another decision to make, which will cost you a lot more money to do that. It's more of an investment to do that.
You can also, for the most part, most professional photographers have a website where you can look at their portfolio and see the type of shots that they've taken before and get a cost estimate. And I will say that this is something that you have to prepare for. You have to actually say, I am going to make an investment in my headshots because they are important for my business.
Yes.
They are important.
Don't avoid it. Don't treat it like the plague. Don't say, oh, I hate it. I don't want to do it. That's not a good start. You want to really discipline your mind to say, I need this because I'm reaching out to my audience. I'm reaching out to potential clients, and they need to see me. They need to see who I am. So once you select that photographer and you figure out what your budget is and decide, am I doing headshot, which is typical like a bust up shot, or am I doing a full body shot, right? And you can discuss that with your coaching team easily. Now you have to kind of figure out, what am I going to bring? And I would say for a headshot, what you said was not excessive. I say you bring the 5 to 10 tops.
It took me 3 trips from my car to the studio with all of my stuff.
Oh, it takes a lot of trips.
And
but
shoes, we don't know because I knew I was doing full body shots. I had to do shoes, I had boots, and then I had jewelry. I brought my entire my entire jewelry case. I had packed that because I wanted to switch out jewelry as well.
Yes, exactly.
And ultimately, it was a long day. I was exhausted. However, it was amazing. And then I did another photo shoot with the same photographer that was a different style. It wasn't for headshots for my website or my business. It was Jerry and I, at the beach. I always wanted to do a shot at the pier with Jerry. And so I said, well, let's make it a full day. And again, I curated outfits, and I actually took photos of myself in the outfits and then got people's opinions or looked at myself, because sometimes what you think looks great, and when you take a photograph of it, sometimes it doesn't look the same way. Yeah. And so I highly recommend that if you can, you can get a really inexpensive stand, a really inexpensive set of lights, which I do for a lot of my marketing for brands that I work with for clothing. And it's maybe, and your iPhone, right? I mean, that's how I do all of my shots for that. And a really good editing software that you can have on your phone, which I have all of these things, by the way, linked on AnnGanguza.com in my shop section, because I love them. And that's, I feel like for any voice actor, it's good. Like the lighting that I have in this studio is important. Lighting is, oh my gosh, almost everything. And you also have to be considerate of where's the studio. Are you going to do it inside or outside? And inside, do they do it with natural? I think natural light is the very best lighting. And so if they have a studio that has a lot of windows, that you can be facing the windows, because that's your best light on your face. Yes. And so you can practice on yourself and take lots of different pictures and figure out what sort of positions. Do I have a good side? Do I have a bad side? Do I have preferences that you can then communicate to your photographer? And also, like I said, curate some outfits and take some pictures of yourself in those outfits to see how they look in a photo. And then maybe you can even send, here's a look that I was thinking of. You can even send those to your photographer ahead of time to see what they think. That's just because I have a really good relationship with mine, but it does help a lot to get their professional opinion. And they know what angles she knows where to go with that camera to get the best picture of me, because she probably took, I think on that day, maybe 1,000 shots. And, we ended up on maybe, I think I ended up with 500 of them, but I'm using maybe 50. So, but still, that's a lot of shots.
That's huge. That's a lot of shots. I would say for folks listening in who are going for their first time, or maybe their second time, but their first time, it's scary. It is. It's a scary. You got to
get comfortable in front of the camera.
It can be upsetting, psychologically demanding to look at yourself. And you want that photographer to work with you and show you what they are shooting as they're shooting it.
Oh, absolutely. And ask to see those photos as they're shooting them.
Deal with what you see. And that's something that you got to, do whatever you need to do. Meditate, drink water, see a therapist, whatever you need to do.
Agreed.
Do not unload on the photographer. They're just there to shoot you and make you look great. But the psychological hurdles that you're going to need to overcome with dealing with your age, your weight, your style,
the way you look,
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be transparent. Mom is going to tell you the truth. It's going to be hard.
It's like looking in a mirror.
Easy.
It's like looking in a mirror, and it's hard. And if you hate yourself in the mirror,
do not like it. They do
Yeah.
not like the experience. They do not like looking at themselves. So it's just like listening to yourself, right, Annie?
Yeah.
You have to do it a lot and get used to it and know that that's kind of a necessary part of our industry. And I would say start out simple. Like just start out with doing a headshot, having some great tops, layer it, bring in some jackets, some sweaters, right? Nothing busy. Don't make sure you don't have words, sequins, shiny things on your clothes. See what I'm wearing today? It's awesome, but not great for a headshot because it's too busy looking unless it's what we call a personality shot.
Yes.
So a personality shot
that's what I'm
is
going to
not
talk
a
about.
standard headshot. It is different.
I think the personality shot almost always sometimes looks better. I mean, there's a place for each,
too.
right?
Yeah,
but the
I do
personality
too.
shot is like, what is it that makes you you? What is it that makes you laugh? What is it that you're passionate about? Like, do you have a hobby that you're passionate about? I mean, outside of voiceover, right? For me, it was, I'm just trying to think what I did. I mean, because I did the whole family shot by the ocean because we love the ocean.
Yeah.
I loved horses. So, you know what I mean? I have different aspects. I have my cowboy boots.
You always
I had,
do a business shot. I always do a corporate shot, right?
Yep.
There's a mom shot. There's different kind of
exactly.
roles you're thinking about of what you give off, what you play. Whether you're an actor or you're not an actor, like what's your perception of what you give off to the world?
Yeah.
And you want to match that for sure. So starting with the headshot, I think is great, Annie, to just start sort of simply like that and thinking about how do I want to wear my hair? Do I like it down? Do I like it up? How do I like my makeup? Having that makeup artist in hair is so important because you translate so differently on camera than you do in real life.
Now, even for let's say guys who are not necessarily wearing makeup, or is that something that they should consider when taking headshots, or
no, honestly,
not necessarily?
I don't recommend men to have makeup. I just say, listen, have a good powder on hand, have some great
because you don't want this
chapstick.
shine. And I will say something about glasses. I will say something about glasses because you have to be careful about the angle. So like right now you can see as I look up towards the light, you can see the reflection in my glasses.
Right.
So the photographer needs to know the angle, right, of the lighting that they have in there and that it's not reflecting off the glasses. There are a lot of times you can get frames without any lenses.
Well,
and
actually,
sometimes this is the best solution.
Actually, the photographer, if they're good. See, this is the difference, you guys. Listen up. Between a wedding photographer, a child photographer, and an actor photographer. One of my photographers was so pro. He gave me his own glasses, his props, and he popped out the lenses. And he said, here you go. And I said, really? You don't want the light? He's like, no, I don't want any reflection. I just need the
absolutely.
rims.
Because they have to try to get rid of it in the end.
Of course.
And for me, I need my glasses. I cannot literally read or see without them, and so they are prescription. And the funny thing is, Law, if you look really closely, you're going to see one of my eyes is bigger than the other, and that's because one of my eyes is much worse than the other, and my lens is thicker, so it's magnifying my eye. Now, for me,
I thought you were going to say you have a fake glass eye and you're going to pop it out.
For
I was
me,
like, oh my God, I didn't know that.
For me, I call my other eye the droopy eye because it looks like it's drooping. Like this one looks like it's drooping. And now that I've just pointed it out for everybody, but when I do my teachable moments videos, I will have days when I'm tired, right? And my one eye really droops more. And also the angle of the camera has a lot to do with it. So, if I'm looking like this, you're not going to notice that this eye's bigger. But if I look this way, you're going to notice this eye's much bigger than this eye.
That's fun.
So it is
That's
a thing.
fun.
And it's only because the lens is thicker, the magnification is thicker.
And you know your angles too.
And I know. That's how much
That's
I've been on camera, and and so you are very aware, and that's something you can communicate to your photographer. But even if not, like look to them. If they're good, they're going to make you look good.
Yes.
They know the angle. They know where to come. They know where to place you within the light. And they're going to make you feel good about yourself. So if you can find, now I have been all different weights. I've felt all different ways about myself, and I've needed headshots. And so she has gone through my lifetime with me. I feel, the past 10 years. Yeah. She's gone through she's been with me through heavier times, thinner times, and always that affects how I feel about myself and how I feel about myself in front of the camera. And she has always, I've trusted her with my life because she's always been able to make me look good or feel good about myself. And that to me is priceless. right? That she is worth every penny because she knows me and she knows how to take a good picture of me.
You know, Annie, what you're saying I think is so treasurable because it's really, and you may only meet this person once and not see them again or not see them for a long time, but how that photography team makes you feel about yourself is so important. You don't want them to be overly critical. You don't want them to be rushing. You don't want that factory approach. You want a personalized approach. So I would say, listen, talk to them first. Get a quick Zoom meet. Get a quick in-person meet if you can.
Sure, absolutely.
Get engaged. Do they want to spend a little time with you? Are they going to rush you in and out of the door and not care? Which a lot of photographers are like that too, right, Annie? You've met them.
Here's the thing, right? I think there's a special skill in smiling. Right? And smiling for a camera, right? My husband, for the life of him, like every time I tell him to smile, he's like, and it's like really fake. Yeah, it's really fake. Like so many people don't understand how to smile for the camera. Now, it is not a natural thing. I think most people just feel like they have to put on this particular look. Now, a good photographer and or their assistants are going to be able to make you smile, a natural smile. And even because sometimes they'll just say, okay, smile, you know, and you'll be like, you know, and that you're not going to like any of your photos because it's not real. So maybe they can tell you a joke and then take multiple pictures while you're laughing, right? Yeah. And that's usually the good, almost candid shots that, you know, I think are always like the award-winning, you know, the award-winning headshots when you're just like, you're like right in the middle of a natural emotion.
Great minds think alike. That conversation. You know, it's so funny. There's so much bridge into what we do as voiceover talent. It's like, are you authentically real? Are you talking to the photographer?
Are you fake smiling when? Yeah. Are you fake smiling when you read? This is. Can I just say
about
this?
Life, you know,
this is absolutely parallel to when I tell people when we tell people to smile when they're reading copy. Right? There's a difference between smiling like, "Hi, I'm Anne, and I'm going to read this copy with this fake smile." Notice how I have a fake smile, and it's a fake smile, and it doesn't sound good because my mouth is like in a position that is not making me sound.
In your eyes too,
right?
Your eyes.
Exactly. But if I'm like, for me, I'm happy and bubbly anyway, so I can just think a smile. I don't always have to form my mouth in a smile. But if I tell some people to smile, it'll make them sound a little less serious. So notice how if I'm just like, oh my God, like Laura, you just made me laugh, right? That's such a better smile. So what we try to tell you in voiceover when we're saying, I want you to smile, I want to hear that smile in the copy. I don't want to hear a fake smile. Just as in photography, we don't want to see a fake smile. We want to see a real smile. We want to see real emotion. Right. We want your personality, your heart to be shown, and your happiness and your joy.
And I would use hacks like bring in a prop or have like I have my coffee in my hand right now because my coffee is kind of like connected to me by the hip. You know, I always have a water or a coffee in my hand. It just makes me feel like a person. It makes me feel like I'm living life. It's just me, right? But what makes you feel that way? Maybe you'll have a little teddy bear in your hand or you have a little stress squeezer. We're not going to see it on camera, just like we don't see it in your voiceover, but maybe I need that so that I can make myself laugh or talk to the photographer about, you know, I'm kind of nervous. I'm kind of stressed.
Well, like, a lot of people are, and a good photographer will be able to like either make you laugh or get you to be more natural or more relaxed and comfortable. How many times did we go for those school photos?
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? Your school pictures, and it was like, okay, smile. And I'd be like,
do you remember the days,
like,
Annie?
how do I smile? They did not know how to talk to
Annie,
us.
do you remember the days where we had the little clip-on animals for our collars? They were
absolutely.
So like my fourth grade shot, I have a clip-on raccoon. And it was like,
yeah.
Well, we're still kind of doing that when we get in front of a camera. We're still kind of like deer in the headlights. You have to be careful about that. I would say even warm up.
Like my husband, who has the best smile ever, when he gets in front of the camera. And by the way, I will tell you, my husband, I got him. He's now hired to work alongside me with one of my brands as an influencer. He's hysterical. He's really great on camera. But whenever I say when he wants to pose to do photos, right? I mean, like, okay, now smile, and he'll go. And it'll be like the most stiff. I'm like, no, Jerry,
That's
just
cute,
like
though.
say something. Let me just tell you a joke, Jerry. Oh my God, remember the other day when we did this? And he'll be like, and then I'll get him in the middle of a smile, and it completely changes the photo.
Yeah.
So you know, you just have it. It's something that you know. How many times can we do a selfie? right? We can take selfies. We can practice. You can see what you look like when you fake smile. So really just practice as well. And,
All right,
and
here's
also,
one more. Oh, go
well,
ahead.
let me just say, it's not a bad idea to get yourself a tripod that you can, and a remote control little blippy that works via Bluetooth with your iPhone or Android, so that you can click a picture when you're standing there, right, and do a pose, and then just do multiple pictures and figure out, oh, okay, I like myself when I'm angled like this, or when I smile, I can't lift my head up too high, or if I put my chin down just a little bit, right? You can really learn what works for you. And I think there's some valuable information in spending $20 and getting that tripod and getting that little clicker, which I think costs $20, if not less, and connecting up via Bluetooth with your phone, and boom, taking the picture, taking multiple pictures, and getting lighting, by the way, which won't cost you more than, I'm going to say the lighting that I have won't cost you more than $100. Put those on tripods,
which you just a ring light. Just get a ring light,
exactly.
Right?
I don't love ring lights because I have glasses, and I think the ring lights show like they're very obvious. So I have lighting like I have in my studio, which are like kind of the soft, pillowy, LED lights that have the big, like, what do they call those? The big, puffy, like white coverings over them. I forget what they're called.
They're like
but
the
I have
softbox.
That's it. I have a softbox. I have two softbox, and I make sure that I'm standing in front of a window, because then you have the 3 areas of light, which is critical for good lighting.
Now I get your secret, Annie. Now I know why you look like you're 18.
That's your secret. It's good lighting.
18?
It's really good lighting. Yeah.
Awesome.
Good lighting.
One more tip I want to give too.
By the way, links, I'll link that in the show notes.
Love it. Eye lines. That's something that only actors know about. On-camera actors, VO talent don't know about that. It's important for you for when you do your photo shoot. And that means where my eyes are focused. So in a headshot shoot, they are focused directly at the camera. But the caveat is, especially for VO talent, who you're showcasing your business as well, I would suggest you bring to the studio your microphone, your headphones, because they're easy to throw in a bag. You don't have to worry about it. And take some of those
a cable
shots.
too. Don't forget the cable, because if you take a photo without the microphone with a cable, it's very obvious to all of us.
Unless you're a podcaster and you're sitting down. So that's up to you. But yes, take a cable and be in action. And you may not be looking at the camera. You may be looking at your script. You may be in an action shot, which is really great. But your eye line is going to give away. Are you directly involved in what you're doing, or are you not involved with what you're doing? A headshot for an actor should be direct address to the camera. But for a voiceover talent, you'll have that, but then you'll have, maybe I'm talking, maybe I'm doing this, maybe I'm doing that. And that's kind of cool for people to see you in action, you know?
And a good photographer will be able to tell you where to look. And what's interesting is, remember we talked about my droopy eye. Okay. So because of my droopy which became so much more noticeable as I needed a thicker lens, my photographer, she's like, okay, normally you are looking right in the camera, but I think I need you to look above the camera slightly because you've got that eye. And I'm like, yeah. So you'll notice right now I'm looking at the camera, Law, right?
I never knew this.
Right.
This is
Watch me
news
now.
to me.
I'm looking at the camera. Now I'm going to look slightly above the camera. And it makes a difference, right?
Oh, my God, that's crazy.
Right? It makes a big difference. So,
but see, I have known you for how long? A couple years, and I never knew that.
See, now everybody's going to be looking at my eye. They're going to say, droopy eye. And droopy eye, ganguza.
No, it's because it's because it's a choice. It's all a choice. There's much you can do about an eye that droops.
I can't do anything about my eye.
But the angles, the lights, the makeup, the action, all that is your choice.
And guys,
I love it.
You may think, like, and here's the deal. Like, I mean, I so much put myself in front of the camera every day. When I was young, and I had a very severe case of lazy eye where I was almost blind. So my eye was in the corner, this bad eye, the one eye that looks bigger. It was very much in the corner. And when I get tired, right, still, my good eye does all the work, even with glasses.
Oh, how
because it's been trained since the year 3, the year 3 of my life, since I've worn glasses since I was 3. And so even with glasses, my good eye does all the work. So when I get tired, this eye will tend to kind of go a little bit in the corner. And I notice it all the time. I mean, I used to get made fun of it. And so you may think I'm completely confident in front of the camera, but I know, okay, my eye will tend to drift if I'm tired, or I might have to really pay attention to look a little brighter.
That's right.
But
you got all the tricks.
It's good to know yourself. It's good to photograph yourself and not for the sake of vanity, but for the sake of knowing you and feeling good about yourself in front of the camera. That, I think, has done wonders for me over the years, because before, I did a bunch of on camera, teachable moments and, those sorts of things, stuff that I put out in social media. I wasn't on camera a lot, and it was something that I had to practice at to get much better at.
Yes.
And talking to the camera is something that is important for your headshots. Addressing the camera, and it's kind of like really thinking about, hi guys, I'm looking at the camera, and like you're really speaking to somebody, just like we do behind the mic, right? We think about speaking to someone, as we're behind the mic. So think about speaking to someone behind the camera, and that will engage your face, it will engage your personality, it will engage your heart, and it will help you take a better photo. I am convinced of that.
God, what a great convo this is.
Yeah.
I wish I had this convo for myself 30 years ago.
Yeah.
This is just a great convo. I also, what was that? Oh, okay. One more thing I want to make mention. This is great how you figured out how to cheat
my droopy eye
insecurities and all that stuff. But I do want to say to all the folks that are like, yeah, I don't know how to do that, or I don't know if I'd get over it, or I have this or I have that. We love imperfection.
Yeah.
We love it. In fact, we look for it, we hire it, and we work it. So if you have anything that you consider to be outside of a norm or outside of a convention, whatever it's a lazy eye or whether it's this, don't feel the need to hide it. Don't feel the need to put it aside.
Shout it from the rooftops. I have droopy eye.
Now we're actually looking for people.
I have droopy eye.
All these so-called imperfections, right, which are real person stuff.
Yeah.
And that can
it
be a
is,
really
and
great thing.
hopefully that's relatable to some. I mean, maybe not everybody has droopy eye, but there's so many people are like, you're always so together. I'm like, really? I got a droopy eye. I try to be, but I got a droopy eye. But that's okay.
Yeah, but they don't care. They don't care. They're attached to it.
Well, I think it makes them feel. I think people that are here's my imperfections, guys. I mean, it's relatable, right?
Yeah.
And that I think is really the most important thing. Like I don't want to be a picture of something that I can't ever achieve. That kind of thing. Like, you don't want a goal that you can't ever achieve. And
That's
so
a good way of putting it.
you can only just bring out, let that photograph, let that headshot bring out the best in you. Showcase the best in you, because every one of us has a beautiful, beautiful quality. Every one of us is beautiful. And, have that confidence. Like, remember you were talking about the confident, what is it? The ugly, that Hollywood had a term for it.
Ugly,
and it was
beautiful
like
people.
the beautiful ugly. And I don't even think, I think everybody's beautiful. I don't even like the word ugly. I think everybody's beautiful. They all have a beautiful quality. Everybody has a gorgeous voice. They have a unique quality that connects us together as human beings and connects our hearts together. And so guys, you are beautiful, and you are absolutely a face for photography, and a face for a headshot, and a face for VO.
Absolutely.
Right?
And there's many companies out there that really exploit that. They really celebrate that. I can think of an amazing agency in New York, Funny Face Talent, Real Person Talent.
Yep.
There's probably a bunch of them out there that they want you to think, oh, I have a weird face, or I'm not beautiful looking. Oh, well, we're going to get you a lot of work, because a lot of people relate to you, right? They totally. There was an actor, Annie. Who was this actor? He was very big in the early 2000s. He was a heavyset guy, and he had this eye condition where his eyes fluttered up and down.
Oh, I'm not
you
sure.
Saw him in
How
a
do I
lot.
not
He
know?
was a regular on X-Files.
Huh.
And he was a fantastic actor, and his eyes fluttered up and down. It was amazing to watch him work in different roles, and how he utilized that condition to go right into his roles, and to sort of infuse the energy in his roles. Some of his roles were scary. Some of his roles were demonish. Some of his roles were good. Some of his roles were like fatherly, but he always used it in his favor. He never tried to hide it.
Wow.
And I thought,
that's it. I mean, be out
cool.
there. Be out there and be confident, guys.
just technically one more thing I want to throw
Sure.
in, and that is when someone shoots you, a professional headshot photographer should be giving you everything they shoot. They'll go ahead and get rid of all the shots that are like the in-between shots, the blurry shots, the shots that really like you're not in position. But they really, like Annie was saying, she's kept 500 shots. Maybe they did 1,000
I keep them because I may use I can do a little cropping myself.
Yeah, one of the mistakes, Annie, I see people make is they'll show me what their shoot looks like, and I'll see watermark on everything. And I say, be careful of that, because when they shoot you now, it's changed. They used to own those. They no longer own those. So when they shoot you and you get, 200 or 300 of your best shots, those are yours. Those should be yours.
Yeah.
Now, if they're going to edit you and you're going to pay to have them edit, which a lot of people do, then they're going to charge money for that as they should.
Absolutely.
Their time.
Absolutely.
But otherwise, those are your shots.
Oh, yeah.
And you should
Absolutely.
be able to keep those shots.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your property.
And they should be up in color. We don't do black and white anymore, guys.
Yep. Make sure you get all the shots if you want them, and they are yours. All right.
Color.
Good, excellent conversation, Law. I loved it. Guys, I'm going to give a great big shout out to IPDTL. You too can connect and share like bosses, and find out more at ipdtl.com. Have an amazing week, bosses, and go get your headshots, and we'll see you next week. Bye.